Hey there, everyone. It's Thakard, and welcome back to more Survival Fountain of Youth. Today, we're doing something a little different, and it's going to be a little bit of show and tell, specifically resources and their locations on the map. So, I have cleared up and revealed the entire map for you guys, and I'm going to be showing you where some of these different resources that are commonly asked about on the Discord are located. So, take a look, and hopefully this will help you out while you're looking for those more difficult to find resources. Alright, so this is the empty map here. On the left hand side you see my starting location. This is the shipwreck. That's what the little yellow flag is on. So I will be describing basically the early stages of the game for you guys. And I will be describing from moving from the initial shipwreck out into the world. Now, first off, we are going to be talking about foodstuffs. Now, on the Discord, I see a lot of questions about where you can get food because people are struggling in the initial stages of the game. They haven't explored, they don't know where anything is yet, and so they are having issues with food. That being said, there is a lot of food even around the starting location, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. Alright, so at the initial shipwreck, you not only have coconuts and dates, you also have crabs that you can kill, usually by throwing your axe is the easiest way. You can cook those up for straight meat, and there are also conch shells that you can harvest meat from as well. Now, what a lot of people are missing is there's a box on the beach you can use, and inside that box there is a loaf of bread. But that is not it. If you were to look directly offshore from the crash site in this blue area here, there is an additional 2 more boxes on the sea floor. One of them has a loaf of bread and the other has an apple. But that is not it. In this same area, you are going to find starfish, which can be eaten raw, but I would advise against that, because in the same area you can find sea urchins. When you have a starfish and a sea urchin, you get a new crafting recipe for some caviar. And caviar is very good on food and water, plus it lasts for a very long time. So you can make up, I believe it's about 5 or 6 caviar in this initial location. And between the caviar, the coconuts, the dates, you can last through probably your 3rd or 4th day on the island and have no issues with foods whatsoever. Now, most people, after they finish on the beach, move immediately inland through this valley. Now, this valley is bordered to the north by the jungle, to the east by the main mountain chain, and to the south by the mountain that kind of has the anvil on top where the grotto is located. There are several good food sources in this valley alone, and I'll kind of show some of them too here, one of which does not appear on this map because it's bugged and it appears on the crafting map instead. But the ones I want to show you are these. Down here along the southern mountain, you have some oranges. Oranges are very good for water, and they give a little bit of food. But there is a series of, I believe, 3 trees over there, and you can get a whole bunch of oranges, and they will help you deal with any water issues for the first couple of days. Also in this area to help you deal with water issues are these guys right here. Can't remember the exact name of them now. My brain's gone dead. But they look like grape bushes. You go up, they're big bushes, and they look like grapes in them. And they only have water for them. There is no food content, it is only water. So these are really good for keeping that water level up. Also, just inside the forests, there are several of these guys, and these are breadfruit. Now, raw breadfruit has a huge amount of water, but a small amount of food. But they're very good for keeping your water level up. But you can also take breadfruit and combine them with eggs and make a cooked cake, a baked cake. And this baked cake has a very high food content. It has no water content, but it also heals for 5 HP. So it is a healing item, which is quite wonderful. Now, between the jungle and these oranges to the south, there is a hilltop that has what is called Platonia. And this is the one that for some reason is not on the food map, it's on the crafting map. Now these have a little bit of food and a little bit of water. What is good about them is there are a couple trees here, and each tree gives you several of these fruits. So they can help you last over the first couple of days. And all of this stuff is in just that starting area, that starting valley where most people tend to go in. In this valley, there is a road that kind of runs to the north through the jungle. It kind of curves a little, kind of moves a little bit to the north here, and just kind of moves in this direction to the north. And one of the things that you can find on this road are bananas. There's a series of banana trees up there, and banana trees will give you not just the raw bananas, which you can eat, but also unripened bananas. So like green bananas, and you can take those back and you can cook those up. You'll need 3 of the green bananas to cook up, and they're a very good source of food and water as well. So that is all the stuff just in your starting location. As you look at the map here, there's plenty of dates and coconuts and crab all along the shores, and there are also breadfruit and the grapes and oranges in many different areas. And we're not even looking at the bird's nests. Bird's nests are great because most of them will give you 5 to 8 eggs, which you can either cook up for cooked eggs, or you can eat raw without much of an issue. Don't forget that in the trees, the cartography trees, there are also bird nests as well, so check those out. Alright, sticking with the food, I'm next going to show you the 2 water sources on the island. Now these you will see on a map in the grotto, but I will show you here as well. They are just, both of these are in tough to reach places. The southern one is in the mountains. You can get to it through the main path that comes off the back end of this valley. If you just follow it around, you will eventually get to that water source. That being said, it does have a couple of short-eared dogs and snakes around it, so be careful. But it is definitely the safer of the 2 different locations. The one to the north here is in a nice open valley area, but it is surrounded by jackals. And jackals are mean dogs, and you don't want to mess with them right off the bat. So if you're looking for fresh water and you're kind of running low and you're in the mountains, check this area out. If you don't see it on your map, just map from the mountains and you'll be able to reveal almost this entire southern area. Alright, up next I'm going to be showing you guys crafting resources, because again on the Discord, one of the things you most often hear are where are the big sticks or the long sticks, and where are the big branches, and how do I get vines? So that's all in this section, so let's take a look here. From our initial crash site here, if we move directly inland here to the very first hill, we will find the first set of long sticks. Now, along the southern edge of the mound here, there is another hilltop with several different trees with some additional long sticks. Now, all of these long sticks should provide you with enough resources to make several spears, as well as some boxes and some good sleeping arrangements. If you skip on the box, you can even make a canopy, which is quite nice as well. Now, to get more of them, you're probably going to have to cut through the jungle to the north. And will that be a little bit dangerous? Yes, because there are a lot of dogs out here and things like that, short-eared dogs and stuff. But they are, you can deal with them without too much of an issue. So if you look here, there are actually many other long sticks out here. Just highlighting all these long sticks for you. And there's also one more out on the island as well. So there are enough long sticks to keep you supplied with spears for a very long time. I just did a video where I built 4 fully functioning bases, and I had more than enough long sticks to get all 4 of these up and running. Alright, up next we're going to be talking about vines. And vines come off banyan trees, and these are nice big thick trees, and they are covered in vines. You'll see some going up the trunk, and then they'll be hanging down from the branches. Now there is a series of them in this jungle area. The first one being just off the beach to the north of your crash site. It's just north of the cartography tree, and there is a boar nearby, so be careful. There are, I believe, 4 of them in this section of the jungle right here. Some of them are by boars once again, and other ones are a lot safer. They're closer to the edges of the forest, but you will have to watch out for things like snakes. There's also one right here along the kind of eastern edge of the valley and the very southern portion of the jungle. It's a very easy one to get to. It's right on the edge of the jungle. You can walk right in. And then the last couple are over in this section of the jungle. And this is on the, there's a road that kind of cuts up into this other open valley area here. And on the right-hand side of this road, or the east side of this road, moreover, is a series of banyan trees with vines as well. So you can check those out. All right, next we're going to be talking about the big branches. Now, big branches are used more for advanced crafting, for things like water collectors and the such, but there are quite a few of them in the jungle, and the first set is just north of the cartography tree by the beach. It is in the same location as that first vine I was talking about, and there is a series of 4 trees there, and they're called jaboa trees, and they have thick bases, and then they have like big limbs on them. Once you see them for the first time, they're easy to see every single time after that. Now, in the center part of the jungle, there are actually a couple sets of them that you can find. And lastly, there are some in this section of jungle, once again, that is east of the road that kind of curves up to the other open valley area. And with these, you can easily make plenty of water collectors, as well as, I believe it's the tannery that requires some big logs or big branches as well. Some other things on this map that you would like to probably take notice of is down here in the mountains, you have access to the bamboo. Now, bamboo isn't used for much right now. In fact, it's only used for one thing, and that is for holding water. It's kind of a canteen of sorts, and you will be able to hold water either with coconuts or these bamboo stalks, and bamboo will give you 15 water units versus the coconuts, which will give you 10. So if you're in this area to the south, pick up those bamboo. Lastly, on this map, we have the cattails. Now, these can be found at the freshwater sources as well as the swamps inside of this main portion of the jungle. Now, currently, there aren't, again, many uses for them. You can combine them with the bamboo to make those bamboo canteens. That's pretty much the use for them as of right now. All right, next we're going to talk about doing some mining. Now, if you have built a pickaxe or you find the free one that is on the scaffolding in the mountains, you can go mining. Now, there are 2 different types of mine. There are obsidian mines and there are stone mines. And stone mines are located to the south here, inside of this series of mountains. And they usually have like a snake or something nearby, so kind of watch out for them. Not too big of a deal. And then to the north in these mountains up here, you will find obsidian mines. Now, currently there is no use for obsidian, but hey, now you know where they are. All right, so quickly I'm going to just toss up the water resources. These are things like purple coral or the seaweed or the fish that you can catch. And it's hard to get these on the map because, well, it's sea level. So it takes a long time to map anything out. Some of them have appeared on the map here. The rule of thumb, though, is basically if there are big rocks coming out of the water, you will find the sea resources around these rocks. So if you're looking for coral or fish to go spear fishing with, find the large rocks in the water and you will find these water resources. All right, lastly, we are going to take a look at the medicinal resources. And these are the things that you will need to make special types of healing compounds. Of all the medicinal resources, chamomile is the easiest one to find by far. There are several different sources inside the initial valley that you go into. And these aren't just a single plant, these are multiple plants. And you will find them all along these, if there's a grassy open area, kind of along the beaches, you're definitely going to find these chamomile, which is a good thing because the thing that you will probably have happen to you the most is getting sick from food poisoning. Some of them are a little harder to find. Hibiscus, for example, is only really around the jungles. You might find some on the edges of the jungles, but usually they are a little bit further in. They are a red plant and a kind of bush, and these are used for dealing with any type of flu sicknesses that you get from the rain or the cold. Next, we have the tobacco resources. These are generally along the edges of the jungle. They're not necessarily deep into the jungle. They keep more along the edges of the jungle, and these are used to make tobacco compresses to treat burns. So think whenever you have a sunburn or if you burn yourself while cooking food, these are the ones that you have to go and find. Now, lastly, we have sage, and sage is generally in the open valley areas, and it's big bushy plants with a lot of purple flowers on them. And the only thing you really ever use sage for is treating fevers. The only way to get a fever is if you get injured to a point where you get up to the level 4 injury and it stays around for a bit. If you are sick for too long, you have a higher chance of getting a fever. And the only way to treat those fevers is with a sage concoction that you make at the chemistry workbench. So it's very important not to get to that point because you don't have the chemistry workbench very early on in the game. All right, so that was a look at some of the resource locations, both food and crafting and medicinal wise, on the map. Now, you're going to see this map again in the next episode where I'm going to be showing you guys some base locations that I truly enjoy. Now, if you have any questions about resource locations for food, crafting, and or medicinal, please leave them in the comments down below. If you have any questions unrelated, also leave those down below and I will try to answer them the best I can. Also, another thing, please leave down any ideas for future videos you would like to see about Survival Fountain of Youth. I've been asking that over on the Discord, and the one that I said is coming up next, which is the base locations, was one of those suggested ideas. So if you got an idea, stick it down below. All right, y'all, have a fun time exploring the island on your own, and remember to survive. If you enjoyed or disliked this video, I do hope you comment on it and give it a thumbs up or down. If you want to see new videos, please hit the subscribe button, and to be notified of new content when it comes out, hit the notification bell. But for now, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day, and don't forget to bring it no matter what you do. And I will see you guys in the next video.